Hi, I'm Gabriel Cruz. I am the producer on Nobody Wins. Well, it all starts with a story, and there was a 48-hour film festival that Josh was keen on saying, hey, I think we could do something really special with this. And a lot of us at Archetype, which is our production company, Josh is a part of. We used to have another partner, Tommy, and TJ Tarunjoji, who is not with us. He's in India currently. Josh brought the script to all of us and said, hey, I think we could really do something really good with this 48-hour film festival. It's all in one room, and here's my idea. And it was a really good idea. Some people come up with like, there's 4 guys sitting on a couch and playing poker or whatever. It gets very generic very fast. But Josh's idea was a lot more original and even had its own aspects of intensity and suspense. I was like, man, there really is. There's a good script here. And so we decided let's move forward with shooting this for a 48-hour film festival, and that didn't come to fruition. But we said, you know what? Since we probably don't have time to make the film festival, what if we pitched it? What if we pitched it to somebody else and maybe got a budget? So we sort of shopped it around a little bit, talked to a couple different people we thought would be able to finance the film. When Josh brought the script to us after he completely wrote us, I would say maybe a second or third draft, because there's always tweaks that happen. We did our full script breakdown, which is a standard process, and budgeted it out as to how much it would cost us to make the film, how many crew members we would need, how many locations, every little detail that we could think of that would go into it, and made a budget. And from that budget, we said we could probably shoot the Nobody Wins short film in 1 day, 1 or 2 days, and we probably need about $5,000. The gentleman that we pitched to last, who ended up being our executive producer and financed the film, Clint Winters, loved it. He loved the idea, loved the concept, loved that we came to him with a prepared budget, which is something that most people that he's talked to never come with, which kind of surprised us. Like, how do you pitch a film without having a budget? Or he said even some people came to him without a script. Or like, come on, this sounds like standard ways to sort of make a film, or at least ask somebody for money. And he said, yeah, I'll finance the film, and gave us a contract that would also benefit him on the back end if something were to come with the film. But he was willing to go ahead and put down $5,000 to help us to shoot Nobody Wins. And that was in the end of 2019, and then we went towards 2020 to shoot. I think we originally slated for like March or April. And of course, everybody knows that March was a month where things started to ramp up, called COVID. That sucked. And with how serious COVID started to get, we decided, you know what, it would be very irresponsible of us to shoot this film knowing that we could potentially endanger other people around us. I believe at that time my grandmother was also living with me, living with my family, and she's older, and I didn't want to risk getting her sick. We didn't want to risk getting other people sick in case any of us ended up catching COVID. COVID was still fairly new, and in fact, if I really dig deep, I'm pretty sure Josh was sick right before we were supposed to be going to shoot, and he didn't even know what he was sick from. And I think he got back from a vacation or a flight, something. But he got sick, and he got pretty sick. So he thinks he might have had COVID at the time. And he might have, but we took the precautions, and we said, you know what, it's irresponsible of us to go ahead and go forward with this. let's hold off. Everybody hoped that COVID would be a quick thing. Of course, it wasn't. And then as soon as COVID sort of became more manageable for everybody with masks and vaccinations and things like that, the film industry in Atlanta started to just pick up real fast. And I'm also a 479 member. IATSE represent. I work on within set lighting, and I got busy. Got really busy. I was constantly working. Every streaming service out there, every production house out there that just does union work was trying to pump out content because they were all behind from COVID. So I was busy. Josh was busy. Everybody was just going 110%. Everybody was working. But it was a little bit after that. We were like, hey, it's 2023. Maybe this might be the year. And oddly enough, because of the writer's strike and the Screen Actor Guild's strike, it was because nobody was working again. But this time because people were fighting for what they what they deserved for their rights to make a living in what they do, which the unions all support. So I was out of work. A bunch of other people were out of work. Josh was out of work. We said, hey, we still technically have the $5,000 from Clint because he never withdrew it. He had access to all the funds, and he never took it out. He never took it back. And when we approached him about it, said, hey, Clint, we still have the money. Do you want it back, or can we go ahead and move forward with shooting the film? He said, guys, go for it. It's that was the deal. It's for you to make that film. And he was actually very surprised. You didn't do anything with the money? It's still there? Like, yeah, why would we touch it? And that's what it was for. It was for Nobody Wins. He's like, well, go for it. Go ahead and shoot Nobody Wins. And so we did. And getting everything together was its own challenge. Of course, we had, again, everything's broken down. We had our funds, but then we had to find all of our crew members, which, again, everybody's out of work. So we got Blair Winders, an amazing director of photography. We got Chase Yarborough, who's a gaffer, also a 479 union member. Mark Ashworth, who's our lead actor. The Screen Actors Guild was struck, and he's part of SAG, so he was free. But we also wanted to make sure that since him and Clint were both SAG members, that we were also okay to shoot. So we had to reach out to SAG and say, hey, we have a very low budget film. It's $5,000. Is this okay for us to shoot this film and pay the actors? And they were like, yeah. They actually have different tiers of where you can shoot. And if you're below $20,000, I don't know when people will be watching this, but at the time, with $20,000, if you're below $20,000, you're able to shoot with SAG members, and that's not considered struck work when they were striking. Then we got special allowances to go ahead and use SAG actors. So we got amazing talent with Mark Ashworth and Clint Winters. Of course, the other supporting roles that we were able to pull in, Kendall and Daryl, who are two other actors, and then what's her name? Ziggy plays the daughter. She's mostly doing a voiceover, but then she's also got some photos that we use for her, the family photo stuff. And then the one who plays Braxton. Braxton was Braxton. They're all great talent. They all do a phenomenal job. In a way, I kind of hope Josh said he might be writing a script later, but I'm hoping that we can bring some of those same people in if we are able to eventually do a feature. I think a feature would be an amazing evolution of this film as well. But that's pretty much we had to put everything together, get all the people together that we needed for the film, plan out a day. We did a camera test, found struggled to find a location for a little bit, but then I remembered that we worked with somebody in Clayton State, Ed and Nina Ackerman, who also doubled as our prop master and our set decorations. And I was like, hey, I wonder if they're still wanting to do film work. And so I approached them and asked them if their house would maybe might be available, and they said yes. So we did a scout, and Josh ended up loving the house better than some of the other ones that we went to. So we got our location, got our talent, got our crew, planned a day where we can all sort of sync together to make a film, and got all of our gear together, which was another fun little challenge. Had to find a insurance that could cover a small production like ours without taking up too much of our budget, because $5,000 is not a lot, and most insurance companies were asking for at least a fifth of that. So we found an insurance company that was able to cover us for a lot less. I think it was about $600 overall for a one-day shoot, with a $1 million liability plan and everything. It was a really good policy overall. Somebody we're probably going to be using in the future. And then we had our shoot day, had everything just came together, and it was time to start rolling on camera. There was a lot of prep. Overall, a lot of prep work, a lot of hurdles to overcome. Just to get to the shoot day, but it happened, and even the shoot day had its own little challenges, but we got through it, and the shots came out looking amazing. Even the BTS work that another coworker that we've been working with, Rod, he got some amazing shots that day too. Like everything turned out a lot better once the day was over. When you're on the day, kind of like, oh man. There's just so much going on. You're in work. You're in go mode. You're not in any other headspace except for just go, get stuff done, knock out the shots you need to knock out. Josh was busy running around trying to work with Blair, our DOP, and talent, and everybody else to get the shots that he and she both knew that they wanted. And I'm trying to handle all the paperwork and stuff, but eventually I had to come in because we were falling a little bit behind, and had to get shots moving a little bit faster. So I had to put on my first AD hat and step in and do even more solve more challenges that come with a shoot day. It's normal to have challenges on a shoot day, but again, we got it shot, we got it taken care of, and. I think even though all of those hurdles that we went through can seem like it really weighs on someone, because I know it weighed on Josh. You could see it in his face and his demeanor sometimes when he's on, especially when we were on the day, and that time clock is just going. But after everything is all said and done, you kind of look back on it in retrospect, and you're like, you know what? We actually did it. We nailed it. And then once the edits were put through, man, it looked amazing. You could feel the potential on everything when you're looking at those cuts, even the rough cuts. But yeah, that's how we made the film. That big long spiel. Hurdles, shoot day, done.
Is there anything you would do differently if you had the chance to remake it?
I would not do paperwork. Out of everything that I had to do, I would say one of the biggest, most tedious things that I just don't like about the producing side is the paperwork. It's keeping track of the paperwork, making sure your film, I think it's technically your film Bible is being built out the way that it should. making sure all of your talent signs their releases, making sure all of the crew members that are coming on, even the volunteers are getting their releases. Managing the budget and things like that, I don't really see too much issue with that. The creative side, I absolutely love. But overall, the thing that I think that the one thing that kind of just always ekes at me is just, all right, now I need to get more paperwork signed. I need to print out more documents, or yeah, it's that. I think that's the most tedious part. Was that the question overall? Okay, I would like to say that Josh and I both love the creative side of things. And when you see somebody who is just as passionate as you are, even to the point where you can have a argument, but it's still out of love and respect, and you see the same drive in them as you see in yourself. It's something that you kind of want to, that at least for me, I wanted to help bring to that next level. The same thing is with the guy who did our BTS and is currently editing all these things, Rod. we see his joy and what he wants to do as well. And I don't know, it kind of feels like artists together, just if we support each other, we can eventually all make it to where we want to be. So I'm very honored and very humbled to be working with people like Mark, like Josh, like Clint, like Rod, even getting to know him even more and more every day. Like Blair, everybody that's been on set has just been amazing. And it really is an honor to see and a pleasure to work with these people. I wish and I hope that everybody else out there that watches these things, the BTS or goes to the film festivals and sees the film, I hope that translates through, that the artistry and the dedication to getting something even as short as Nobody Wins shot. And while the film is called Nobody Wins, I think in that case everybody wins.